All right. Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode of Behind the Shadows with me, Christopher Mifsud, the creative director of Plantword Studios. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of live streams lately for our actual play, and there's been a lot of questions and things that we didn't want to discuss during our actual play, so we thought we would do this on a semi-regular basis. So I wanted to introduce you all to the many things that are Plantword Studios. Such as our Plantword Studios website, which has all of our Plantword Studios stuff going on, and especially our main IP and brand, which is Shadow City Mysteries. So plantwordstudios.com is where you can check this out. But we're gonna dive through each of the products we've been working on, kind of from the start and the origin, which is A Clockwork Noir. So Shadow City Mysteries, A Clockwork Noir actually came about whatever in 2026, so 4 years ago. Was an idea that me and a couple of other folks on the team, first Adam, actually our artist, got him on board to do some really cool key art, and which is just an idea, a dream of basically a world with the phrase, and even in a world with no color, not everything is black and white. And from there, we delved a little deeper into what that world would be. And so, Shadow City Mysteries: A Clockwork Noir is our 3D narrative adventure game. That's our kind of what we consider our keystone product, right? It's the product that is the biggest and most ambitious for sure of all the projects we're working on. And it's taken a lot longer than we originally anticipated for numerous different reasons. If you're a connoisseur of the video game industry, you'll know that there are lots of ups and downs in that industry, and we are no different from being part of that up and down. So we went in very ambitious with a lot of ideas, and so the idea was originally it was always to do a transmedia product, and by transmedia, multiple projects working on that. So we were going to do Shadow City Mysteries: A Clockwork Noir, a giant 3D narrative adventure game, or mid-sized narrative adventure game, and then from there, we were going to do a number of smaller projects. So a tabletop RPG, visual novels that fed into the story afterwards, and then in addition to that, uh, tabletop RPG, visual novels, animations, sequels, everything, right? And you know, uh, things don't always go as you plan. But we have a prototype. We have a cinematic trailer, which I'll show you in a second. That kind of just gives the feel of what we're going for. But what was cool about all of this is that we were able to, originally we were going to create the world and leave lots of empty space and spots within the world, right? So black and white world with touches of color, just metallics throughout the world. There was a reason for that. And this game has a twist that you play 3 times, and every time you play it, the story changes. So it starts as a mystery, then the second time you play, it's a conspiracy, and the third time you play it, it's a supernatural thriller. And you get to choose different factions and lots of replayability, and it's pretty cool. But basically, it's a big venture to do. So I'm gonna see, can we do that? I hear it. I don't know if you hear it. Oh no, what's going on here? We don't know this guy. That's small. We're gonna All right, hold on a second. Can we get bigger here? We're gonna do it here. Boom, bigger. On the Steam page, we can check it out. All right. Don't know. Is this gonna share the audio? Probably not. Well, hopefully it goes to the microphone. If not, you can go on YouTube and you can check it out louder. Night always starts like this.
Detective Nightingale,
It's Nyla. For you?
I'm Zara Blackwood. Something terrible has happened.
Or did it go like this? Say. Or did it go like this? What if the true power was beyond our sight? They are watching the detective. So as it says, wish list on Steam. Yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely come check it out. So this was our again giant ambitious project, which we're still working on. We've written it out. We have Nyla Nightingale, our detective. You can basically like I said, there's 6 factions that you can be a part of. And every time you play through the game, you play through it 3 times. You pick a new faction to join. So you can be the Cult of Tenebris, you can be the Church of Astra, you can be the Iron Union, you could be the Brass Consortium, you could be the Court of Rats, or the Society of Ravens. And some of these names may sound familiar if you follow our actual play, because that's a big part of our TTRPG, tabletop RPG, for Shadow City Mysteries. So yeah, it's a narrative adventure game, lots of choices, lots of ways that the story can branch and change based off of the Nyla that you make and the choices that they make. So yeah, that's where we began. And like I said, we started with just a super cool piece of key art. And then Brandis came on board. I gave him the elevator pitch, which is basically Shadow City Mysteries, A Clockwork Noir is Blade Runner by way of Lovecraft Country, set in a Frank Miller Sin City kind of world with a new game plus twist, right? And I gave him a lot more detail than that, but he seemed keen to join. So Brandon Stoddard joined. So we had Adam Schubert doing the art, we had Brandon Stoddard doing design and writing, and then I convinced Stephen Chaney to join on board. And they've been our core team, and then we've had lots of other great people supporting us, like Luana Zara, who did our faction symbols early on, and then Rabbit Stoddard, who joined on board to actually do some of the tarot design and write the actual booklet that's going to go with the tarot cards, which we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves on. And then and then we had Flor Ciartino of the Wanderer's Tome, who's been doing a lot of the graphics, taking the cool elements that both of those artists do and making even cooler stuff with it. And then I get my hands on the stuff and I butcher it horribly. And then I asked for help again, because that's what you should do from the beginning. So yeah, that was our first and still in production product, Shadow City Mysteries Clockwork Noir. Then when we realized we were going to have more time to work on stuff, we pivoted a little bit and we decided to do Shadow City Mysteries, the role-playing game, which we always intended to do. And that's a 5e 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons supplement. So basically it's a setting book, and it also has a bunch of additional rules for running mysteries and conspiracies and other cool stuff. We ran a very successful, I guess in today's terms, we ran a successful backer kit on that. And that was awesome. And you can pre-order because the books are actually almost done. So the books are fully written. It now has to finish editing and layout and sensitivity reading. So that should be done in the next couple of months, and then it goes out for print, which is pretty awesome. I don't know. So you can. How bad is this going to butcher? Let's see. We'll just play it here. Play it here. So this was the trailer for our backer kit. So these are the early sketches by Adam here, because we needed to get a trailer. I actually debate the usefulness of the trailer still to this day, but some people thought it was a good idea, so I went with it. You tell me, trailers actually get you to purchase a crowdfunding thing. I'm not so sure, but regardless, it's cool, and I play this at conferences all the time, so it works out. All right. So we got to do some cool stuff with the art that we had at the time. And like it says here, it's available to pre-order. Oh, here's the original. So this is the original key art that Adam did. So basically the reflection with the different choices that you can make in the Shadow City. So one of the key things that I think people don't pick up on all the time is that the world actually is black and white, right? Like there was a war however so many years ago between the gods, and one of the gods that was defeated, goddess of darkness, took color away with them when they left and left the world in black and white. And so the art aesthetic of black and white with the touches of color isn't just for art, it's because the world actually is black and white. If you like, there's a quick start guide. You can grab it on our website. You can grab it on Tabletop RPG, drive through Tabletop RPG, I believe. Drive through RPG, right here. Oh, let's make sure I'm not a robot, which is wise because there's so many robots these days. CD mystery. You see what I'm doing? See, showing you how I would do it. Quick start guide. There it is. And if you're so emboldened, you can go check that out there. Yeah, get the quick start guide. It's free. If you like itch.io, it's also on itch.io. All right. So if you're not a try through RPG fan, you could also do it on itch.io. And yeah, actually, if you were so inclined to wishlist our first game, that won't be the first, but the one we started working on first, Clockwork Noir, you can check that out there. It'd be pretty awesome. We appreciate your support. And what else we got? So, we started with 3D narrative adventure game. Came with all these secondary characters, all this cool stuff, this world. Then we pivoted over to the tabletop RPG, which is super cool. At least I think it is. We have like our own classes based on strength, intelligence, or whatever, and they're all noir, and obviously Shadow City mystery based. And then we have a bunch of subclasses. So we have like a generic subclass, and then 3 subclasses that are tied to factions. We don't have race in Shadow City Mysteries. Tabletop RPG, we have factions, and so those give you a little bit more variety. And so there's a lot of different styles of play. Yeah, so you could be like a detective agency. You could be a rebellious group fighting against the autocracy that's in the world. Yeah. So then, as we were pitching and showing off Shadow City Mysteries, Clockwork Noir, I started to get a lot of interest in it when I started talking about that we were going to do visual novels. And this idea of doing the visual novels came up when I was thinking to myself, what can we do to like continue to make Shadow City Mysteries, a Clockwork Noir, really feel like it's the player's game, right? Like you're how do you make Shadow City your Shadow City, right? The tabletop RPG, obviously you can get a group together, you could be a game master, you can create the city however you want. And that's how we approach that piece. Thank you, Tyler. We think the faction subclasses are pretty cool, and we have a lot more. So hopefully over time. So the initial game, go back to the subclass a little bit. The initial game has, like I said, 4 subclasses for each class. But once the game is out, we'll start dropping additional subclasses. So there are subclasses planned for each class for each faction as well. So there's some other. I mean, I think there's some the awesome ones come in the main book, but we have some other cool ones that are in the pipeline as well. And a lot of those will start showing off actually in the visual novels. So in the visual novels, the choices you make in the visual novels will give you a code, and then that code you can put into the main game, the larger game, the 3D narrative adventure game, and it'll set the narrative based off of the choices that you made in the visual novels. So in our first visual novel, there's going to be 6 of them. The first one is Rise of the Rat King. It's based on our major secondary character, the Rat King, who's in charge of the Court of Rats and how they rose to power. And you basically get to choose how they rose to power. And depending on who you killed, who you helped, who you hindered, etc., and how you got the power, when you play Clockwork Noir, based off the code that you put in, when you run into the Rat King in that world, you'll get references based off of the choices. So people in the background might say something out loud about somebody the Rat King eliminated or used to run with, or blah, 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 blah. The Rat King may make reference to you as Nyla based off of choices you made. And then so in the background here, here's the Rat King. He's the head of the Court of Rats. This is Jonu Swan. He's a hustler. So he's one of the subclasses that we actually have. So one of the charisma based classes is the face, and that's the class he is, and his subclass is actually the hustler. And then back here is Arena Swan, and she is a thug, which is a heavy. So it's our strength based class, and the subclass is the thug. So we have, first up is the Rise of the Rat King. So it's the Court of Rats. We have a story that follows the politician, who is from the Society of Ravens. If you watch the actual play, she's probably the player's favorite NPC. Probably no, not at all. But she is one of the more powerful individuals in the city, so she's part of the Society of Ravens. And then we have a story for the Cult of Tenebris, which follows our Curiosity Shop owner. And then a story for the Iron Union, which follows the Iron Union boss. And a story for our Brass Consortium, who follows the Brass Rose, also known as Madame Rose. And finally, a story for the Church of Astra, which follows the High Priestess of the Church of Astra, Unina. So for this one, we were just in the Steam Fest, which is great. So we had thousands of people download the demo, which is incredible. I can't say thousands of people play the demo. It seems that there's a very high tendency for people to download something but not play it. I know I do it, so I can't really say anything, but it was definitely an eye opener of being like, oh, so many people are downloading the game. This is amazing. So many are playing through the game. So the good news is the people who do play the game play it all the way through, which is actually really nice. The demo, it's not the full game, but the demo. So we have a bunch of things that we took notes of. We got some great feedback. We're continuing to work on the full version of the game. And when that comes out, I think people will be pretty happy. So if you like games like The Life and Suffering of Sir Brant, and you like Citizen Sleeper, and you like the Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York games, this game's for you. If you like typical Japanese visual novels, maybe not. But if you just like visual novels in general and stories and be able to make choices, so for Choose Your Own Adventures with really cool art and some other stuff going on, this is the game for you. So you should 100% wishlist this one as well. Yeah, this is me just hawking everything today, mostly because I'm told when we do the actual play, which I'm glad I don't do it during the actual play, I don't bring up the stuff that we do, which we do a lot of really cool stuff. And that's why we're doing Behind the Shadows now. And the fun thing is going to be in the next couple episodes of this, we'll have Adam, the artist, come on. He'll show you like his process, my process of ruining his process, so they can make cool characters and so forth. So, but this is the teaser trailer we did for the Rise of the Rat King. So it's Shadow City Mysteries case files. There's 6 of them. First one is Rise of the Rat King. It's Bitter Sea. She shows up in the Quick Start Guide, the tabletop RPG. She's in our actual play, and she's in the Shadow City Mysteries visual novels. This is everyone's favorite character, the politician. And, we also have a really cool person lined up to do the VO for the Smoker. He did the VO in the trailer, but I don't want to spoil it in case we can't get him to fully do the whole project. But I think we will. He's an awesome guy and a good friend of mine, so I'm looking forward to him coming on board, hopefully. And then we can bring him on here, and he can chat about his awesome career. Okay, so this is that. All right, there's that. Nice. Okay, so there. Now you have the full collection at this point. No, I think we have one more thing. All right. Yeah, we do. The Truro deck, which I like to bring up because so this we started, and so the cool thing about the Truro deck, and I love so I know it's trendy. I mean, I know it's like a trope for video games now to have Truro cards, decks, and everything in it. Can't help it though. They're cool. It's a cool. I mean, it's a great way, right? There's unique cards, there's things to think. So the Truro deck is a physical deck, which is being written by Rabbit Stoddard. Most of the cards are designed by Luana Zara, who's the tattoo artist here in Malta. So we're a Maltese-based company, though. Our team's distributed around the globe. So like Brandis and Rabbit and Adam and Steven are all in the United States, but Luana and myself are here in Malta. We have a 3D artist here in Malta as well. We work with a team in Brazil for our visual novel stuff. We work with a team in the Ukraine for our 3D stuff. So we have a team kind of all spread out, and that's awesome. I like working with global teams. So this Truro deck, the idea that I had was that I wanted in the 3D narrative adventure game these to be our collectibles. Again, I know every game has its collectibles. It's not my fault. It's a cool idea. Anyway, and then in the visual novel, like there's actually a scene even in the if you play the demo, there's a scene with the where she uses the cards and she tells you your fortune. So they'll be in the visual novel as well, and then There may or may there's not some stuff in the core book, but there will be some stuff I think well, I don't think I know, and some supplements that we'll be doing as well with the tarot deck that involves the tabletop RPG more. But it's pretty cool. So this is so these are I mean these were the first cards that got mocked up by Luana. So as you can see, like our suits, our cogs, rats, ravens, and stars. And this is, detective looking out over the world. I love the rats. I'm not gonna lie. I like the whole idea of their little tail. They're so cute, and their little tails are knotted up. So sweet deal there. And then the moon. Actually, we've got all the cards except for the like the page through king of the lower arcana. So those are almost done. And those are going to incorporate more of Adam's designs. And I think it's going to be pretty dope when it's all done. So these go to print when the book goes to print, and then all the folks that have ordered those, and I'll probably order a bunch of extras just for sale when I go to conferences and things like that. But it will be limited a little bit. So if you want a book or a tarot deck or some dice or whatever, pre-order. If you I feel so hockey on this one. I promise the future episodes won't be, because a lot more people on here to talk about, just answer questions and stuff. But yeah, there's that. The tarot deck's dope. Pretty happy about that. If you haven't ordered pre-ordered a book yet, and you do, we have the manuscript, and it does go out. It has gone out to all the people who have pre-ordered and backed the project so far. So it's not laid out. It doesn't have the full art. It's not final. It hasn't been edited. It hasn't had a sensitivity read yet. But if you just want to see the rules as are right now and everything else that's the book, you can pre-order it. And I'll send it out to you via both itch.io and DriveThru RPG. So you'll get the copy there. And then when the game is fully ready, bloop, magically, it'll update with the full version. Because that's how I believe technology works. It's magic. I don't actually understand any of it. So, which brings me to our actual streams. So if you tune in Tuesdays, which I know some of the people watching right now do, and we thank you for that. We have look, it's showing me playing this right now, which anyway, we have an awesome cast of folks that I've known all my life, not all my life, most of my life. So every single player that I GM for, and I'm fortunate to GM for, is someone that I have grown up with, played with, whatever, like at some point in time. So tabletop RPGs, LARP, school, like elementary school, which is crazy, but a lot of fun. And it was really cool for this project to bring all those people together, even though they hadn't all played together. And they do play really well together, and it's awesome. So Ariel, I've known for a long time. I won't say it because it probably revealed too much about how old I am, and in reverse, how old Ariel is. Somehow it defies logic. She's, I think, 20 something, but that's probably not true either. So Ariel played for forever. She's hilarious and fun, and she's a great actress, and she's based in the ATL, and she plays Reggie Wren, and is awesome and super supportive of the project way before we brought her on for the actual play, which has been really, really cool. Winston, I've known for years as well. I played lots of LARPs with him, tabletop with him. He's a witty guy. He made some interesting choices, knowing how the story was based. But he went with the Church of Astra, and bless his heart for doing that, for playing a character that's the Church of Astra in this game. Katie, I've known for Evas and Evas. We first met at Dragon Con many years ago, playing a LARP, and then we've LARPed together for many years after that. And she's the best, and also super supportive, and couldn't ask for a better friend. Mandy, I've known since elementary school. She's incredible. I don't know, she'll kill me if I say it. So she didn't really actually intend this to join the actual play. She thought she was just going to be beta testing the rules. And then I said, no, it's an actual play. We want you to be part of it. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And she's been great. So happy. And it's great because it's been a long time since I got to see her. So getting to tabletop with her now after all these years is super dope. Matthew Bell, also someone that I've known for years from different LARPs, and is an actor. And he's also tabletop with me. I used to run a City of Mystery. I still run the game, but he dropped out. But I ran a City of Mysteries campaign that he was part of. It was good fun. And then when this came up, I asked what his availability was, and he made it available. So that was cool. So he's another actor in the ATL. Katie is as well. She's actually rehearsing for a play that's going on soon. So that's pretty cool. And then Matt Walsh is literally one of my oldest and dearest friends of all time. Elementary school, first tabletop RPGs we ever played were together. So D&D that his brothers had, we totally made characters for, but we actually started with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the old West End Star Wars game. He played an Ewok. I was the GM. So, and then me. I'm just been doing this a long time. I don't know. Been running games since I was in elementary school. I was very lucky and fortunate. My dad owned a comic book store. My mom was a new age hippie. So I got to do a lot of really cool artsy and strange things as a child. And then grew up to work in the video game industry. And been doing that for 25 years plus. So plus it's just like I think it's plus now, but whatever. So yeah, that's been awesome. And we have special guests. We have special guests in the near future. We have some folks that weren't able to start with us and still aren't available full time, but they are going to make some appearances soon. So I'm excited about that. We have some talks with some other folks that come in. So we're hoping there'll be fun surprises. New art, which I love the art. So I can't, any excuse for me to, here we go. Here's the art. Any excuse for me to get more art from Adam is always a bonus. And so, yeah. So this is Ariel's character, Reggie Wren, or Regina, Reggie Wren. She's a infiltrator from the Brass Consortium, which means that she has a brass prosthetic arm, and basically they're assassins. I mean, everyone's an assassin or a thief. I guess they're the rogue class, right? So that's the best way to describe them. Perrin Kastai, this is Winston's character. He's of the Church of Astra, and he's a mystic. So it's the only heavy magic class in our game. Shadow City Mysteries is a low magic world. Magic exists, but it's heavily, I won't say sedated. It's not the word. Heavily suppressed and running off. And the church is really the only place where it's technically legal to do the magics. So there's that going for him. So Winston's been a trooper because I warned him that this group wasn't really full of church people. Katie's character, Quinn Copperpaw, they are a heavy of the Court of Rats. So, and they're a thug as well. So, Perrin Kastai is a mind speaker, and Reggie is a counterweight, which is the name of the subclass. Mandy's character is Raven. She has a full name that we never say, but it's Vera Drellick, if you want to know. It's Raven. She's another infiltrator, but she's part of the Cult of Tenebris, and she is a... Oh man, this is why I skipped ahead earlier on the other ones because I forgot what they were. She is a thread cutter. I think that's the name of it. We went through a lot of different names for them. Yeah, thread cutter. So basically an assassin. Yeah. And then Farank is played by Matt Bell. And he is our face, and he's part of the Society of Ravens, and he is a lawyer. We have a lawyer subclass. Because if you ever like, man, you know what? I'm missing D&D, playing a lawyer. You can be a doctor too if you want, if you're part of the Society of Ravens. So doctor, doctor, lawyer. What's the other one? Oh, Seneschal. I don't know why I forgot that one. That's kind of key. Anyway, Seneschal, it's a mystic one. Anyway, so there then is Matt Walsh's character, Ignatus Ibison, and he is also Cult of Tenebris, and he is a savant. And currently, there is no savant subclass that's Cult of Tenebris. There is one, but it has not been officially released yet, or written for that matter, but just it's tentatively titled. So Matt subclass is the generic one, which is Mastermind. So that's pretty cool. And then Eston Sky is our main NPC. He's the patron of the group, and he's of the Society of Ravens, and he's got stuff going on. And then our special guests are going to be whatever we got there. Oh yeah, our Discord. You should join our Discord. That's not a bad idea. Let's see if I've set this up correctly. I did. Exclamation mark. Actually, something, if you do want to learn, like if you ever want to see like what the stats of any of the players are, so we'll do Quinn. So there you go. So if you ever, if you want to see what Quinn's stats are, we've created a shortcut. And it takes you to a Canva board, and you'll see their full stats and all their abilities currently. If you're like, there's no stream and I can't get access to that link, if you join our Patreon, which is free, or you could pay, but we have a couple paid people. Thank you so much. If you're watching, thank you. We appreciate you for paying. But it's free and it gets you access to majority of the things there. And one of them, I believe, is the stats to maybe that one is paid. Anyway, you get access there as well. Or you can just memorize the way I write the links, and you get access that way as well. So those are the 5 technically products, I guess, that we do right now for Tri-City Mystery: Clockwork Noir, Case Files visual novels, the role-playing game, the tarot deck, and the actual play streams. A couple weeks ago, I was in Berlin for the film festival in Berlin. We did chat up with some folks for some short form and long form things, potentially. Who knows? People do like the IP and the product, so we'll see where that goes. In a couple weeks, I'll be in Bologna for the Children's Book Festival, and we'll be chatting to some people there as well. We're interested in doing some graphic novels and some books, not kid books, young adults. I don't, not yet. We haven't. I don't think the child version of noir, kid noir. Maybe. I mean, it might be where we have to pivot to eventually, but we'll see. Not yet, though. We're gonna keep it, PG-13, R-rated for a little while. And then in June, we're going to be in Annecy in France for the animation festival there. So we'll be talking to some folks there about maybe doing some cool animations. I've got a lot of ideas for some really neat animations, and just get the right partners involved would be cool. And then in August, we'll be back at Gamescom, DevCon, but it's not DevCon anymore. What is it called? Well, it's Gamescom and then Gamescom Dev or whatever. They renamed it. I don't know why they did. Same thing with, we're not at GDC this week. For better or for worse. No point in traveling there. There's plenty of stuff to do in Europe right now. So that's where we've been spending our time. So 5 products, animations, maybe some movie and TV stuff, some other cool stuff. And this is only the first IP. We actually have some cool, another 2 or 3 IPs and brands in the works that would love to see the light of day as well. But we're focusing on this right now because I can only not sleep so much there. If you're in the chats, you have a question, feel free to ask it. The otherwise, I think this might be a short for the first behind the shadows. It might be a short one. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. Knowingly, in the next couple of weeks, we'll have some of the players actually on, and we'll chat more about their characters. We'll delve a little bit deeper into some questions. Maybe I'll prep some questions instead of free-forming this like I did this time, and we'll dive into all the different stuff that is Playing Studios. And should I mention, you know what? I'm going to pull up one more thing. Let me see here. How do I do it without revealing anything right away? Let's see. I'll do it this way. Oh, there it is. Q. So why don't we walk through Adam's art, because it's dope. And I'm a big fan of it. So this is the femme fatale, and this is Nyla Nightingale. This is the second image that we did, and it's probably one of our most popular image over the last couple of years. So it, I think it nicely highlights the black and white aesthetic, the touches of metallics in the world, right, with the prosthetic, and then with the femme fatale's hair, right? So that's some good stuff. Of course, Case Files, Rise of the Rat King. This was our banger intro, our new intro for the actual play, which I'm very pleased with, and I really love it. And the music's really cool, and I couldn't get rid of the music for the intro for this one. I'll have to find new intro music for this one, but for now, I totally stole the one from this one, from our actual play, because I like it so much. And oh yeah, this is the enforcer. So this is the subclass for the Iron Union for our heavy class. So strength class is heavy, subclass is enforcer for the faction, the Iron Union. And I love this character, and I love his big ol' iron prosthetic arms. This was a cool splash that thankfully Floor put together for us for the showing off the Dark Nyla. So Cult of Tenebris, Iron Union, and technically there should be some tattoos on her neck for the Court of Rats. Case Files again. Can't get enough of the Rat King and Queenie and family. This was us in the Steam Next Fest a couple weeks ago. This is me talking about the Steam Next Fest again. This is again me promoting Smoker. Smoker was like the second character that we ever created. And he's kind of the, I won't say antagonist of the city, but he's kind of behind all the things that go on within the city. So if you were a detective and you had a board and you were drawing a lot of lines with like string, they might be attached to a lot of those strings. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. And this was at the Berlin Film Festival. There's my big beardedness back here, amongst some other super talented film and video game makers. It was a lot of fun. Ooh, this is one of my favorite characters. She's a more recent character. This is Unina Brightway. This is the high priestess of the Church of Astra. Yeah, this character is just creepy and cool and everything I love about the setting. So, and then House Sky. Oh, and then this is one of our other more recent characters. This is the police captain. If you've not heard me say it a million times in the actual play, and you haven't read if you haven't pre-ordered the book and read the description about the police in Shadow City, they are not the good guys. They're definitely the bad guys. Here's Franck again. Here's the cover of the Shadow City Mysteries role-playing game. that Adam put together. And so all of our pre-generated characters from the quick start guide, highlighting the different subclasses that give you a taste, a little taster of the game. So again, like I said, our Iron Union Enforcer, our Court of Rats Infiltrator, our Society of Raven Savant, our Brass Consortium Face, one half, boom, Church of Astra Mystic, other half, boom, Cult of Tenebris Maker. Very cool characters. Some of my favorite designs that Adam's done so far. But every time he does a new one, I'm even more impressed. And I can't wait for y'all to see Madame Rose. She looks dope. She's coming along nice. So here is the Church of Astra Mystic from the Quick Start Guide. So she's beautiful, so gorgeous. She's a mind speaker. This is Queenie, one of my favorite villains of the city. So she's the antagonist in the Rise of the Rat King. She's the former queen of the Court of Rats. This, of course, is the Rat King, one of the first characters I came up with after the Smoker and after Nyla. So big fan of that character. This is the Cult of Tenebris Curiosity Shop owner. She's pretty cool. There's another version of her which we showed a long time ago, which I'm kind of keeping out of not showing again, but shows another side of the Cult of Tenebris, which is pretty cool. So if you dive a little deeper into our Instagram here, the one I'm doing right this second, this is Bittersea. She's one of my favorite characters. Bittersea is an infiltrator for the Court of Rats. She is a Moon. What the heck is her name? We changed it 3 times. It was something else. It was Moon. Oh man, don't grow old, people. Your memory is what is that one called? I can see Steven, if he was here, shouting at me, going, "It's this." I'm like, ah. It is so class. Where's the class? Moonlighter, like the old TV show with oh no, I can't forget his name. Oh, he's such a cool person. He's going through such hard stuff. Amazing actor. Bruce Willis. There we go. Moonlighting. There you go. So this is the Iron Union boss. 100% based off of my father, not the character, like the face. So like the image is Adam did an amazing job. This is my dad. Well, except my dad didn't have a cool iron eye patch or a cool iron bionic neck. But otherwise, it's this is the epitome of my Maltese father. About that short, like Danny DeVito size. Which says something because my dad was like 5'2" and I'm 6'3". But if you ever see me and you saw him, we look exactly alike. So there's no deviation in the genetic pool. It's just my mom's side of the family were Germans, or very, very tall people. Not my father, who was a very short person, and my mom was a very short person. It's actually quite humorous how short they were compared to me. But and then we did these awesome one-on-ones with each of the characters when they leveled up to the 3rd level. And we'll probably do it again when they hit 6th level. They're about to hit 4th level. Shh, don't tell. Actually, they already know this. They're going to be making the decisions very soon about what feats or abilities they're going to raise when they hit 4th level. They just fought a bunch of pseudo our world's kind of version of zombies. Aren't really zombies, but oh no, really? How did I get one of these? Oh, a second. Well, that's disappointing. Usually Where's my mod actions? Usually I can do something. Oh, here we go. What do I think it's going to do? That seems a little bit heavy-handed. There we go. I don't even know what to do there. All right, cool. Sorry. Stop talking because I'm all by myself here. All by myself. I'm trying to take care of people spamming my chat. Anyway, so where was I before I finish up? Yeah, so we have the politician Jalathai Winters, who, if you follow the actual play, she's, like I said, one of the player's favorite, not so favorite NPCs. She lives in the same neighborhood as the players. She's the wife of one of the Frank's boss, and she's a bigwig within the Society of Ravens, and the players have to deal with her in order to get their favor, which some don't really care about, and then others do. But yeah, she's probably one of my other favorite characters, just because I know her backstory is interesting. So special episode of House of Sky. We also we did these one-on-ones with the players. It was good fun, and yeah. Oh, and then this one. Oh, I love this one so much. So this is a Cult of Tenebris maker. Their the subclass is the it's an alchemist. They have a fun name. What is it? This is why I have documents in front of me, and also should prepare what I was going to say today. Maker. We changed the name of this one like 3 times too. So Umbral Alchemist. Yeah. So in Shadow City, purple is our danger color. So everything's black and white. But if you no, I didn't want to do that. If you see purple though, it means danger. It's usually tied to the Cult of Tenebris, which in turn is usually tied to the Goddess of Darkness. So bad things happen to those who delve too deeply into umbral alchemy and anything Cult of Tenebris. Yeah. Let me take care of one more thing here. I thought I should have done it. Also, if if you haven't followed us yet and you want to be our 69th follower, I would highly recommend doing that now. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Set that up. Anyway. So yeah, the tarot deck. Everything else. A lot of art. And then the doctor, the good doctor. The good doctor of the Society of Ravens. Who also uses a little purple alchemy there, but no shade. Just because you're part of one group doesn't mean you can't have dealings with the others. And then that, and then back, and then back again. Oh, and then the dancer, the entertainer for the the Brass Consortium, which I just love. So yeah, dope ass stuff. All right, well. Don't think I'm going to have anybody join me today. I think everyone was pretty busy, and I droned through most of the stuff pretty quickly that I was going to cover today. So I will leave you with a thanks for tuning in. And next week we'll cover more specific details. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments wherever you can leave comments, which is usually on our YouTube, or you can write to contact@playonwordstudios.com and I'll get those questions. So sounds good. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into the first episode. Hope you learned a little bit, or at least got to know a little bit more about what we're up to at Play On Word Studios. And see you all on Tuesday. I hope you tune in then. We'll have new codes for Idle Champions for those people that love to tune in just for that. And we'll have more exciting adventures with the family, which I hope is why you turn in, because I do think they're an entertaining family to deal with. And then you can watch me mangle the D&D 5th edition rules, or the 5.5 rules, as they're called now. The cool kids call them. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. And until next time, see you in the shadows.